hook up some dude, probably start a company and be million.
I think that's something that Brandon can ultimately associate with, as you go on and, education and furthering yourself away from football. Yeah, you're in football, but, there's other stuff out of football and, your degrees and everything and your outside stuff. That's a big part too. So I think we get there. We'll talk about some of that. But, you started out really, you're in football, you get into college was more as a running back, and there's been a conversion here to DB. So, and that was that all just at the transfer of schools? Was that, when you went over to SMU, is that when you became this DB?
No, I actually, so my third year at UCLA, so I was a running back all 3 years there. My redshirt year is kind of when I decided that I wanted to transition to corner. Coach Moore actually, he while he was the head coach at UCLA, he wanted me to switch, and I was willing to, but unfortunately he got fired, and we had a coaching change, and so I wasn't given that opportunity to play corner at UCLA. So I was about to graduate, and I knew that that's
3 years.
Yes, sir.
That's impressive, man.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. He's working on his master's.
I know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, though, 3 years though to graduate college is impressive.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So I knew I wanted to play corner, and I entered the transfer portal, and so playing corner was something that I wanted to do. It wasn't it wasn't going to SMU and then they converted me over. I was telling coaches the entire process when I was in the portal that I wanted to play corner. I was receiving opportunities at running back, but that's not where my heart was at. My heart was definitely at corner. And
okay, that's the first, by the way. I just want everybody out there to hear this. We had an offensive player who didn't want the ball, who wanted to switch over and become a defensive player. Thank you. Defense wins. Go ahead. Thank you. I love you for this right now. You've become one of my new favorite guys for saying that quote.
Everybody wants to score touchdowns, man. That's you know what I mean. But not a lot of people, want to be on the dark side. The defense is the dark side. I enjoy it. That's what my passion is. And yeah, man, I just love doing it.
If you're just tuning in, Brandon Stevens, cornerback, SMU.
Right, I don't want to say defensive. No, I noticed how corrected me very quickly. He's like, I'm not a strong safety.
So this is I'm gonna give you props, and this is awesome. So you have offensive production, right? Mm-hmm. You have the hands, you understand all that, right? DBs normally are just receivers that can't catch, right? Typically, that's what
right. That's the stereotype. Yeah.
So, but you have that. You have the ball skills. One of the things that I've taught, and I brought this up multiple times today, is as a scout, I love 6 foot corners, 5'11" and above corners. It's just hard to find those guys because you have all these big receivers, right? You have DK Metcalf, you have the Nuke Hopkins, you have all these big time guys. You have to find corners to match up against them, right? And I mean, even like a Tyrann Mathieu, who's a stud, one of my favorite players, who's an undersized guy, but he moves inside, right? You can put him on the slot, but against smaller guys, can cover with more of a safety type body. You want some of those bigger, longer guys with arms to be able to look Legion of Boom when they had up in Seattle, long corners, right? Big guys, right? To be able to find those guys, that's where Coach Mora, being a former NFL coach, knew that, right? So that's why I'm just telling, when you brought that up, I was like, I bet it came from a coach, from a pro coach.
Yeah.
Because as a former scout, we were always looking to find those guys that convert, right? Mm-hmm. To be able to find a guy that could convert, that was big, that could move, flip his hips, and do all those things. For you to have the wherewithal to be able to do that and then go through the portal and come down there, that's where you stood out at SMU, was your ball skills and your ball production, high pointing balls, right? Being able to track the ball in the air.
Right.
That's a huge thing, and that's going to play huge dividends for you, not only on Thursday, but as you prosper and you build up through this transition of here. So that's a smart. I mean, you can tell you're smart. You're getting a graduate or getting a degree in 3 years. But to be a young guy and be able to make that transition, that's really smart. Man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Good for you. So now, what do you need to work on, though? So you're going to talk to these guys. I bring it up to everybody. I love accentuating positives. Like, you have to work on your positives, but you also have negatives. What do you have to do with that 2 years of production at a high level? It's a really good conference, playing corner. But what do you have to do to take that next step to be able to do it on Sundays?
Right. I think first and foremost, just learning how to be a pro. I think that's key. And it, in film study is the starting point. How do you watch film as a pro? And because that translates to the field.
Sure.
And I think that's an area where I definitely could use improvement. And just learning from vets, and learning how not only how did they get into the league, but how did they stay in the league?
Yeah.
That's something that I try to pick the brains of the ones that was in my shoes and ones that are in the league right now. Man, I'm just I'm hungry to learn, hungry to just improve myself each and every day and just become a better version of myself. But there's so much for me to learn. I've only had 2 years.
Yeah.
I feel like my ceiling is high, there's just so much to learn, man. And I'm looking forward to it.
Would you consider yourself a willing tackler?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So you're gonna play special teams?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna beg to play on special teams,
oh,
right?
Man, I'll beg to play wherever I can.
Okay, good. All right, good.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, sometimes you get some corners, right? You get some corners that are like, I'm all right. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Put me out, I'll be a little jammer, I'll do a little flyer, whatever else.
No, I want it all, man.
Okay.
I'm trying to have
you got the mass, especially, and you talked about the dark side, and when you do that, it's about hitting.
Yeah.
And it feels better to hit than get hit.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I knew right then that you would come downfield and make those big hits, and that's something that I think the league is really going to start rebounding to, because you're starting to see this almost in certain teams more of a softer outside, and it's getting less physical. And now there's all these these teams are just marching down the field because these people are not getting physical. That's going to become cyclical, Bridge.
Yep.
And these teams are going to have to start getting studs on the outside to draw them back in. And as these formations start spreading out and they start getting you, like, when Rodgers calls that, they're going to need guys on the outside boxing them back in and enforcing that pressure back on the quarterback. And it really comes from the corners, and people don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
It's very important. And then, people will go to your stats, and a lot of, so scouts are going to go to different things, but a lot of people are going to be at home reading your stat lines, and they're going to look at interception and pick numbers. But I'll tell you what, when you go back on the film and you look at defending the pass, give me a guy that can start knocking those down that would otherwise be catches, and that production will come. And especially makes sense as 2 years as a cornerback. That is something. It's an art form to get the pick out of the pass defended, right?
Exactly.
And there's a lot of close calls, and those close calls end up being in your hands, and now you're going back the other way. So there's a lot of guys in college that had 6 or 7 picks, and they go into the NFL and only get maybe 1 a year or none a year. And then we've seen it the other way, where you have none or 1, and then they end up being ball hawks.
I'm calling it right now. We'll see Brandon Stevens playing on Sundays, like we will, but you'll be a better player in 3 years than you were right now. I mean, just because you just don't know yet, right? I mean, there's just some stuff when you do get in the NFL and get around a DB coach that's been there. Typically, most DB coaches are guys that have played the position at a high level. They can just teach you those nuances, that thing, that when to time up, when to turn your head, when to get that head back. It's gonna be fun. Man. It's exciting, right?
Oh yeah, it really is, man. And I like to say, I'm a perfectionist, and if it's not perfect, I'm gonna make it perfect. Sure. And like I said earlier, I'm hungry to learn, hungry to just be the best version of myself, man, and make the most out of the opportunity, and to just better myself and others around me as well.
Okay, when you get ready to run, you're gonna have a pro day, probably March sometime. I'm assuming SMU will probably have a pretty good pro day. What are you gonna put down for a 40? Well, what's your prediction? And I want to hear what you really are gonna put down.
Man,
so I'm sure you're training for it right now, right? I mean,
I definitely am. I definitely am. I couldn't even give you a number, honestly.
Just say 4.4 like every DB says, right? I mean, that's just all you got to do is every receiver running back.
4.4 the number.
4.4 is great. I mean, I feel like,
what would you be happy with?
Like 4.4 is great. Yeah. 4.4 is great. I'm definitely a bigger corner.
Yep.
You don't really find too many 6'1", 220-pound corners.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can run with them all.
Are you staying back in that 40 time for us right now?
Oh yeah.
Are you really 220?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
look it. Down on our stats.
Could you
you're
slide
coming
to
out of
safety?
SMU.
If somebody said you want to play safety, could you feel comfortable that you can do it?
Yeah, and that's something I pride myself on. Is I can play corner, I can play safety, I can play nickel.
Yep.
You can really put me anywhere on the defense, and I'll definitely excel at it. So that's something I pride myself on, man.
Good.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Gonna be, well, because you'll get that. I mean, you're going to get some guys that are going to say, because there's not too many 6'1", 220 corners, right?
If you can run a 4.5 low,
agreed.
I mean,
he's going to be fine.
People are going to go, wow.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
It's going to be good. And from what your film is, what your stat lines are, if you can put that, these guys, they look for certain boxes to check, you know what I'm saying? But if that's something 4.5's low at that weight and speed, you can be going somewhere.
Yeah, we're definitely waiting to wow a lot of people with that. So
that's gonna be good. I'm excited. I'm writing that down right now.
Yep, we're gonna keep up on that one.
All right. Hey, man.
Brandon Stevens,
appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
God bless, man. Thank you very much.
You all take care. Appreciate it.
Good luck Thursday, man. We'll get you some. We're gonna get some film of you out there. All right.
We got Deshaun Bird coming up.
Okay.
Sean Bird, really good speed, sideline to sideline athleticism.
Where's he at? What position?
Linebacker.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know this.
I like that guy.
Yep.
Stevens.
Yep.
Mike Brez, how are you doing?
Bird.
Hey, man, what's
How
up,
y'all
man?
doing?
Welcome, brother. Ooh, Georgia Southern, huh?
Love it.
Did you?
Prettiest little stadium in America.
Did you know, like, was that your school? Like, were you going there out of high school? Like, were they the only one showing you love? Were they the only one showing you love? Or what made that choice?
Yeah, so I actually went to camp there. I think it was either my junior year, and I went and they didn't offer me. I was like, man, I'm not going here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then it came down to it at crunch time, and I fell in love with the brotherhood. And I'm from a small town, so having a small town feel was amazing. And it was the best decision of my life so far, to be honest. Like, I love it.
I jumped it because Rashad Bird, just so if you're tuning in, I'm just start walking. I'm like, everybody knows Rashad, everybody knows who you are. So I'm Georgia Southern linebacker. So welcome. Thank you for joining us on the Brawl Network.
I like that about talking about Georgia Southern like that, because there's a lot of guys who get in here. They went to different colleges. There's a lot of transfers, and people were never really sure that they went to the right place or made the right decision. It's refreshing to hear somebody made the right decision.
Well, the best is they didn't offer you when you went to camp. Same thing happened to me. I ended up going to Iowa State, but when I went to their camp, they told me I wasn't good enough to play there. Right? Then I ended up going to become the captain in all big A, right? But it's great, right? So, I mean, it's just kind of that one feel. Saying, it's kind of now you leave here and you're going to be playing in the NFL here next year. That's awesome. Good for you.
It's great.
Hey, how many games? Sunbelt, right? So,
sorry?
Sunbelt,
The
right?
Sunbelt, yep.
How many games did you guys get in this year?
We played the most out of everybody in the country, 13.
That's what I was going to say. I thought you guys played quite a bit.
Played 13 games. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But especially dealing with everything. And I think we ended up having like 8-9 straight weeks of straight 100 negative tests. So it was crazy. Everybody was doing the right thing. And it ended up paying off. We did really well in our bowl game and into my senior year the way I wanted to.
That's great, man.
You did. I love to hear the success stories. And, people are out there. There's a buzz for you. You play with intensity and you're on it. And there's this niche in the league for the, I know that there's not everybody can be the Mark Lillibridge prototype, 6'5", stood, 250-pound coming out.
I was you, man. I was just like you. Trust me, it would be all right.
And, so you get there, but you got the intensity, there's quickness, there's speed, there's hits. And I mean, I think that's when we have Aaron Henderson at the Brawl Network, linebacker for the Vikings, very long time, but he always talks about he feels like he's the running back of the defense and the big uglies up front take care of him, and he goes and does business, right? And it really helps whenever you have that intensity, that that bring it down at that size and weight that he's got, and he's packed solid. You can see it when he walks up. I mean, you can when he's sitting next to you, you can see where the film come together.
You're bigger. You're what, 240?
About 235, 240.
I was gonna say, because I think it was somewhere we said 230 was on a list or whatever else, but you look a little bit bigger than that.
Oh yeah.
Are you and I ask this of all the guys we have sitting here, no matter what I think of them, no matter what you think of yourself, whatever else, but that's important. Tomorrow, interview day. 119 scouts are here. All the NFL teams are here, right? We got XFL guys, we got CFL guys, we got all these guys. They're going to sit down and they're going to say, Shad, what's your 3 strengths? What are you going to tell them? What do you bring to a team that makes me want you to come to play for my team?
I'm gonna be a leader. I'm gonna keep my guys accountable, and just really that trust. I take pride in.
So do you take claim for all 9 weeks of 100 not failed COVID tests?
I mean, yeah. Say my guys, make sure they're doing right.
Exactly.
Right? That's
No,
all you can do.
you're going to your room. You go to your room.
Yeah.
You're walking up down the street.
Make sure everybody's doing right.
Right.
Oh yeah, but really, I just pride myself on being that, that center core of the team where guys can come to me if they need something, whether it's football, out of football, whatever they need. I take pride in those relationships with people because you never know, down the road, that's gonna be your boys at the end of the day.
Yep.
So really just taking that in, and those are guys that rely on me no matter what. And I take that personally.
Yep.
When somebody believes in me and trusts in me, I make sure I do anything in my power to make sure I don't disappoint them.
That's awesome, man. By the way, I appreciate you for not saying I'm going to work hard, because every guy better. If you got a chance to play in the NFL, you're going to work hard.
Yeah, you don't make it this far without working hard.
You don't. That's correct.
They're going to get into them about the negatives.
Yeah. What about a negative? What do you got to work on? What do you think you have to improve to be able to play on Sundays?
For sure. I think I definitely have to improve on my man coverage. For sure. We didn't play that much man. If we did, it was on the running back coming out and we were green dog and blitz. They'll probably see me move around a little bit. I know I can move around. Probably doesn't show on film, but I am big flexible for a big guy. So I'm excited for Thursday to go out and show them that, I can move around like this weight and, have that quickness and speed that I show.
I got to tell you this is why I love being here, is when I hear guys talking about green dogging and blitzing, and we've had other guys talking coverages and stuff. Man, dude, it's so great, isn't it?
I love it. I love talking football is amazing.
There's nothing better. Now, okay, here's what you got to do. Explain to our fans, explain what a green dog is.
So a green dog is you'll have a man in coverage, so no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, you lock on him. And say he stays in and blocks and doesn't go out for a route, you then add on into his blitz. But you don't add on anywhere. You got to add on to where he is just in case he checks and release. But it's basically just like a blitz with a man-to-man concept to it.
Yep, well done. I like that. Appreciate that. That's good, because those are now we're learning, right? You're learning some football.
Oh, for real. I mean, 90% of people don't know what the hell you're talking about. More than that.
Yeah, right.
99% of people out here don't know what the hell you're talking about.
And that's the thing, and you can bust those, right? If he comes through the B gap, and you go blitz the A gap or blitz the C gap, and he slides through, and they drop a little dump off. It goes for 6. You're the busted guy, and now you're not playing anymore.
Exactly.
So it's important. So I mean, that's, lock up a green dog. So
it's definitely. But you got the opportunity out here Thursday to go run on the field, work with in the DB group a little bit, and try to get the flipping around and getting turned back. The NFL is big on that right now, and that running up that seam. So when they can see that, or you can give some flashes there. Maybe you didn't have it on tape, but you can show it in there. They know you can do it. That's why Thursday is going to be important for
you. Most definitely. Well, I'm excited for Thursday.
I'm
ready to get on the field.
I'm tear it up.
I'm ready to go.
I feel the confidence
is coming over me. That's what I'm all about.
It gets me goosebumps, man. This guy, he's going to go out there and show that. We're going to be out there filming, and we're going to have our cameras on you when you do these things. We'll make sure everybody gets that.
We want any other way.
Well, exactly. We had our resident scout, John Bogle. You can find him on Twitter for the Brawl Network. He has you as his 18th ranked player here for this showcase out of 50 he did. So that's it's high praise, for you. So don't let him down, right? So you better go out and show out.
18th high praise here. There's a lot of good players here.
There's a lot of great guys just getting to meet everyone too. It's great because I'm going to the Hula Bowl next week, so meeting some of the guys that's going there too is going to be pretty cool. Made those relationships with them.
Yeah. Enjoy Hawaii, right?
It's going to be a great.
Just land back. Just living it. Get some good fish. They got the best fish in Hawaii.
I'm allergic to fish. I can't have seafood.
You can't have seafood?
Can't have seafood. Can't have fish.
All right. They got some crab and some other stuff out there. You'll be all right.
That I will do.
You'll be good, man.
That I will do.
We'll do it. We appreciate you
I appreciate y'all.
Hey, you have a great day. We're going to see you on Thursday. We'll come back here.
That's awesome.
Man, he's powerful.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah. Yeah, he's Hey,
Bridge?
Yeah, man.
Is that right? Bridge?
Yeah.
That's right.
Cool. Very unique name.
You have no idea how well I know you. Okay?
Yeah?
We're going to get into it right now.
All right, cool.
We get going.
So, Sean Bear, Iowa tight end, right? I didn't want to stand up because make me look short. Guy's a monster coming in here. But Iowa, also known as the best football school in Iowa.
Shut up.
Right?
No, it's not even close.
Yeah, Iowa State.
Not even close.
Yeah, the
I mean,
Iowa
the Cyclones, right?
Never lost to Iowa State.
Yeah, they didn't play them this year. That's why. They got
Oh,
COVID.
yeah. They're the next year
They were
school, right?
saved-
Next year school. Next year will
yeah,
be
they
them.
were saved by
Next year.
COVID. Iowa got saved by COVID. Right, yeah, so.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following you for a long time. I grew up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Your head coach, Brian White, in high school, Cedar Rapids Kennedy, was my teammate in high school at Linmar Mary.
All right.
Okay, so I've known Coach White for a long time. He's talked about you for a long time. So I've followed your career quite a bit. And I'm really excited that you were here. When I saw that your name was on the roster, I was like, all right, this is a dude like me, man. We're Iowa guys, got to stick together. Even though you went to the different school, I'm not going to say it's the wrong school. I'm going to say it's a different school, and that's okay. I mean, I didn't ever beat Iowa either, so you're right. You have one up on me. I'm okay with that. I understand. But that has to be a huge deal for you, right? Knowing kind of what's happened with the Iowa tight ends, right? It's kind of it's in the NFL in the scouting world, right? There's sometimes you get these.
Has there been some good ones?
Yeah, if you're a D lineman from a school or a running back from a school, and it's kind of they've all busted out, then you're kind of like that stigma. Well, it's the exact opposite for Iowa tight ends, right? And now you got Sam Laporte who's coming up, who I absolutely loved in high school, and I did a lot of workouts with him. For you to be here doing this and kind of carry on that legacy, what does that mean to you?
It's awesome, coming into Iowa, I was with George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant, all three, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
So learning from those guys and, being able to carry on the legacy, it's hopefully something that I can, continue to do and, fall right into those shoes.
Yeah, it'd probably be better than all of those guys.
Yeah.
They're not, nothing.
Out of
nothing to
Kittle,
follow.
Hawkinson, and Fant, who can pound a shotgun of beer better?
Oh, probably Kittle.
Yeah, I would say Kittle.
Yeah, seems like the guy. And he's a Bears fan. He has to drink.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
He has to pound those pretty good. But, talking about pounding, the one thing about your game and is important, and I think it's another resurgence, especially you look at Kittle does, it's great because he can do the receiving and all that other stuff. But really, the specialness of George Kittle is that run blocking that he gets out there. And that's why San Francisco's been able to do what they're going to be doing. They just promoted Mike McDaniels over there, and he's the run game guy, and it's because the run game has started to go this way, and Kittle was a big part of that run blocking, that stuff that you're taught in Iowa, or it's in your blood. I don't know, man, because here you go, and you're one of the best in the nation at it. And I don't know if you know that stat, but you're one of the best. You grade higher than almost every tight end right now in that run blocking group, and so I can tell that's something you take pride in.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that's, everything in our offense at Iowa starts with the run game, So pound the ball, and then it's play action, or, we're spreading it out and then, just finding holes in the defense that way. But everything starts in the run game. So that's something that's really emphasized at Iowa.
This is the guy you would hate to slam up against.
Oh, no, I don't want
coming out that other side.
No, and that's, I think, what I think is a lost art in football, and I think where you're going to find your niche. And if that's as a late round draft pick, or if that's even as a free agent, I think you do have the lineage of the Hawkeye tight ends have helped your case, right? Because there's the success, and they're all successful. They've all done really well, and they represent you guys really well, and you're a part of that. But I would say out of all those three, and those are all three studs, right? I mean, Hawkinson just got all pro for I think a couple on All Pro Football Weekly. He was the NFC. NFC.
What they pick,
NFC, over Kittle, because Kittle missed most of the season being hurt. Fant is when Fant's healthy, he's doing great for the Broncos.
Yeah,
I think you're a better blocker than all three of them. Okay, and I think statistics prove that. I think your gameplay has proven that, and so I think that's where these teams are starting to get these off backs, H backs, and move tight ends and whatever else. You still need that one guy, right? That pin, that linchpin you can put on the end of the line and be really an extra offensive lineman. And I think you fit that, and that kind of fits your history, your story, kind of coming up. I mean, you're a better athlete, I think, than people give you credit for. I mean, a big time track athlete coming up, but I think it's also there's something about moving one guy from one spot to another against his will. That is what makes football great. I think you do that as well as anybody in college football. So I think you should continue to take pride in that. I think that's something you can accentuate. As you do that, what are some that you want to work on in that game, or what are scouts telling you you need to improve to ascend and make your name with those other three guys?
As far as the blocking front, or
No,
on
anything
all
overall.
aspects?
Your game.
You know, I would like to improve on everything. I know that's like a really cliche answer or whatever, but you know, the more that I can prove, the more my draft stock's going to go up. So
Okay, I'm going to pin you down though, because a scout is going to sit there and say, okay, right, we all want to get better.
Yeah.
Pick me one thing that right now you know that is a weakness of your game that you can make better.
I'd say creating separation and man coverage,
Okay.
route running.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah, we're over here making him sound like a run blocker only, or just
right.
getting phased out, and he's not. The guy's got hands of silk, right? So
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, right, you want to prove everything, right? You want to be even a better run blocker. As good as you are, you still want to be better, right? You can always have better leverage. You can always come off the ball lower. You can always do, hold the point differently. But I'm just saying those are things that create separation out of especially on some of the routes that you've run. That's a huge deal, right? Because that's in the NFL, you can get away with a little bit of stuff at Iowa, okay? When you're playing Indiana, you're playing Nebraska or whatever else, Minnesota. But when you are now going up against a Devin White or one of these NFL linebackers, that one step or that one plant and then dropping your weight and getting out, that makes a difference between a catcher and not, or ball getting knocked away. So, I mean, I think that's something that's important to do. And that's something you're going to have a great chance, because I think people question, and I know better because I've, again, seen you for a long time. There's going to be a lot of people here, scouts, that are going to question your athleticism. Are you looking forward to showing that off and showing that you're a better athlete on Thursday?
For sure. Yeah, it's something I want to, put out there, that I'm a big time athlete, not just a blocking gritty guy. So.
Right. That's kind of fun, right? Because it's like that overachiever.
It's fun to see like people's eyes kind of glow up, like, oh, this kid he can run, like, oh, he can like come out of his cuts. So it's kind of fun to see people's eyes just like kind of glow up. So
do you think that will? How much do you think being able to showcase that on Thursday, was that a reason you came here?
For sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I got the opportunity to play a lot of games. So I was like, all-star game. I mean, I got invited to the Hula Bowl and everything. I was like, I want to show what I can do in front of scouts in a drill setting. Because that's, where they want to see you. They want to put you through an exact drill, and they want to see how you do it. And how your body moves. And I want to get the opportunity to do that. And that's what we're going to do here.
If the ball doesn't come your way, what are you showing somebody, right? But if you're right there, and then they can say, I want to see you do this. Now I want to see you do that. What kind of opportunity are you going to have for that, so that they can at least let you know what you need to show them, and you can show them some things that you think they might need to see, right? I mean, that's a great example. And, here Thursday is going to have a big day for that for you. Out on the field, and it's so close knit out there that you can really work with these guys one-on-one and even make them like you, because sometimes it comes down to that in that scout room, right?
No question about it.
The guy just fights for you and says, hey, we got to take him, and you look at the pedigree, look what he's been able to do. And whenever you can prove, they're going to try to put a prototype on you, and they're already trying to do that, right? So, but if you can say he's a Y that can run the seam and run block, and he can show it out here, it becomes big.
But that happened with TJ, right? I think TJ kind of had that same. Everybody was giving George a lot of the love. And then TJ kind of, that's his junior year or whatever else, kind of just took off and kind of made that separation. That's why they both got drafted that same year. And I think for you, I would say out of every player that is here, I think Thursday is going to be the biggest day for you, because I know the box everybody's got you in. And that's why I was like, hey, we got to get, I want to get Sean to interview him, just because of the relationships and stuff, but also just because I think it's going to be fun so I'm saying it right now. He's going to have a phenomenal day on Thursday. He's going to light up, and then that's going to make your stock go. So we got it on tape before it really happens. I want to make sure that.
And then we're going to tape it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I said it first, so that when we go back and play this, when you're in your Pro Bowl, I can say I called it first, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Let's see him high pointing some stuff.
Dude, it's going to be fun.
Right?
He was just such a phenomenal track athlete, just such a phenomenal, long jump, right?
High jump and long jump.
High jump and long jump, right? And so, I mean, I think it's just white man can jump, and I think we get a little
6'7" in the high.
Did you get your vertical done this week? Yep.
Are you training back at school? Where are you training at?
I'm training in Nashville.
You're in Nashville.
Boost, yeah.
Okay, nice.
And then
So have you done any of that pre-testing stuff?
We did like a rough pre-test kind of coming in.
And you're not happy with your numbers yet?
Coming off the
season is tough, isn't it?
It is tough. Definitely room for improvement. I'll tell you that.
So we're talking about being an athlete, okay, right? You're 40. What are you shooting for?
I want to get in the 4.6s.
You're going to be in the 4.6s.
I want to get in the 4.6s.
You're 4.6s. Do you realistically, can you do that?
Yeah.
At what weight?
250.
At 250. Wow, dude, that's going to be great, huh?
That would be awesome.
That's exciting, man. That's good for you. I'm going to be excited for you. And that'll be the first time I'm rooting for a Hawkeye. I don't really root for a lot of Hawkeyes. Casey Wiegman's one of my really close friends, so I can't really say. And LeVar, Coach Woods is a really close friend of mine, too. So I got Hawkeyes. I'm a Hawkeye guy. Scott Slesker, former Hawkeye tight end, played with me in New Orleans with the Saints. So, I got some Iowa ties. My old Facebook page is a bunch of Iowa Hawkeyes.
It's family, man.
They are. We're all good people. You grow up in Iowa, right? Good people. You grow up in Iowa. We all root for each other, take care of each other. And Sean, I think I'm excited for you. I just think you are going to, your stock will be one of the highest risers. And I don't put a lot of stock in stock rising because we don't know where you start and where you finish. It's like the whole word overachiever. How can you overachieve if you're setting the level of my level of achievement? Maybe I'm underachieving in my own mind. So, but I do think that you are, this is going to be really fun. The fact you're smart, a 3-time academic, all Big Ten or whatever that is. I mean, that's just,
you don't know.
What?
You don't know what that all academic stuff was.
Well,
right?
no, I do. Actually, I was all academic. I was academic.
He's got it.
Listen, how hard is it? I mean, he's at Iowa. It's like everybody. They give it to everybody. I think everybody there is
it's a participant.
Yeah. I mean, it's like kindergarten classes, right? So rocks for jocks. You take geology 101, they give you academic all Big 8. So
relaxation techniques.
Yeah.
Sean Bear, we appreciate you, man. We're going to be out there Thursday. We'll pull you aside. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless, brother. You bet. We'll talk
Thank
about
you. Big guy. I would draft him in a second.
Yeah, right now. Just right there. Just off of everything.
You know what? And I think you're going to get that production. Yeah. PFF loves him.
Yep.
And he's going to make a difference.
There's the positive bias for Iowa tight ends right now, right? Because of what we just talked about. They're all successful. So if that's the difference, you and I were just talking about, if it becomes tie, all right, if it's a tie, if you're in a room and you're between him and a tight end from Colorado or a tight end from UCLA or tight end, whatever, I don't care. Every coach is going to look at the other guy and go, well, the last 3 from Iowa haven't done too bad, right? They have a former head coach, a former offensive line coach in the NFL, and Kirk Ferentz, right? A Browns coach. You got they produced stud offensive linemen. They teach them phenomenal blocking techniques. He's shown that in his film. But then now if he goes out and puts down a 4.6, catches every ball on Thursday.
4.69.
I'm telling you right now, if that happens, we're talking about a 4th, 5th rounder easily.
I guarantee it. The stock is there. You know what he reminds me of Max Williams coming out, where the guy can, in college,
out of Minnesota, right?
Yep. Yeah, he showed that he could get, they did a lot of the run blocking there. So he knew what he was doing. Right. And then he went to the pros. They didn't use him in the passing game like he could been because he had great numbers in college. And so as he put him up. But then he's made a good career coming out of Baltimore. Then Arizona picked him up, and then he had a kill year there. Having a tight end that can just run block on the outside for you opens up so much depending on your scheme. And then you go out and grab 250 yards, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns, and you're making a great living for yourself.
Right. And that's the other part about it now. The game has changed. We talked about it was on the H backs and the moving backs and whatever else. But you still got to have that one guy, even at 250, 255. You can put him on the edge, and he can handle a Khalil Mack. Maybe not one-on-one, but he can chip him, keep him, protect him up till the tackle can kick back, or you got a guy like Von Miller or any of these really good pass rushers. If he can handle him, right, and you feel confident then that allows you to open up so many other things in your scheme, because then that allows you to get an off tight end and move him come underneath, right? So he kicks out, he's in pass pro, right? Another offensive lineman. Now you got that move tight end, comes underneath him, slides in the middle, linebackers are trying to cover. You can mix and match. A good offensive coordinator uses guys like that. And that's And again, it goes back to he's got history. He's an Iowa kid. He's tough. He loves the game. And the fact that he's got a chip on his shoulder, that he wants to prove he's an athlete.
You can see it.
Dude, I will take guys like that. If it's for me, guys like that win every day. We took Aaron Campman when I was working for the Packers. We drafted Aaron Campman out of Iowa, 6th round, 5th round. And everybody was like, what? Who is it? Well, and then 12-year career, a couple Pro Bowls,
real nice
whatever, career, and you're just like, okay, that's and that's not. You don't have to have a flashy pick, right? You don't have to have a Pro Bowl pick every pick. You want to get yourself a 5-6 year starter and then go from there. And he's got the makings for all that.
He does. You shake his hand. He's going to measure out at 10 3/4, 11, something. His hand's coming down here, and when he's out, and we're not going to just prototype him as a pass protector, a run blocker, but you know, that those big hands that he's got helps. That power that you can feel come off him is going to make a difference.
But I also will say, know your strength. Again, work on your weaknesses. If your strength is pass blocking and power and leverage, boom, that gets you in the door. Now that you're on the NFL roster, then you take the rest of the time. All right, let's go work on routes. Let's go work on, you know, this. You said, what do you got to work on? Well, the one thing I got to work on is my separation on my breaks. Okay, well, that comes with, now you got a trainer. Okay, now you got an NFL receiver coach. Now you have offensive coordinator. That's all you're doing every day in drills is just working on dropping your weight and breaking, learning the intricacies of little route running, learning how to plant and drive back to the ball is instead of flattening your route, plant and bring it back to the ball. Those are the things you do, and then all of a sudden that creates that separation, and the next thing you know, now instead of just being that stuck in a box blocking tight end, now they are using you in the passing game, and then now you become that Pro Bowl type player.
And what tight end, 6'5", 250 plus, doesn't want to work on his getting out of his breaks and his separation, right? Who does it? There's almost every guy in the league still needs to work on that a bit, right? So if that's his biggest worry, he's going to do okay. So if he can work on those, it's just timing a bit, you know, it's not, you don't have to become a different athlete. He can just work on the timing, get out of his breaks. He can show that here Thursday. This kid will be one of these guys. You talk about the guys that are going to go drafted, they're going to be on board. I think you got a guy right here.
I agree. I love it. I'm all about it.
I'm glad you got him on there. Because
Mike Shoddy here with Mark Lillibridge at the College Football Showcase here in Fort Worth, brought to you by the Brawl Network, sponsored by Manscaped. We've got with us Maryland tailback Zach Morris. Jake Funk. Sorry, I was made to do that. So you are. I said previous, and I think you liked the tweet, and you said your brother liked the tweet. Like, you're one of the guys I'm more excited to talk about, just because you seem like you are always having fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my personality. Always trying to be positive. Wear this sweatshirt with pride, and really, you know, just try to have fun in every aspect.
We're gonna get you some Brawl Network merch.
Yeah,
just so you know.
I'd rep it. I would, for sure.
What's great about that, Nick, is that you've been through a lot of trials too, right? I mean, with the torn ACL and everything else, to be able to have that still come back every time with that positive vibes, man. That says something kind of about you as a person.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the ACLs kind of like taught me how to be positive, because, you know, there's a lot of negative thought that comes involved with those ACL injuries and a lot of self-doubt, and really you practice being positive about it, and, you know, thinking to myself that everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that.
Take the picture.
I want to talk about that, because you're going to talk to scouts about this. That's going to be your biggest, probably one of the biggest questions they're going to be continuing to ask you if they already have it. But one's great, right? I mean, one, you're like, okay, I get it, God, you know what, this is cool. Then you get the second one, and you're like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious right now with this? How were you able to come back from that second one and still be able to perform at a high level the way you did?
I mean, first, just the belief in yourself that you can do it. So I went through the rehab process once before. The first time was cleared in 6 months. Was able to really, you know, just capitalize off of that, and thought I was really hitting stride going into the 2019 season. And then 2019 hit, 3 games in, retore the same knee. And then really just, you know, full steam ahead, knowing that I could do it again. Second time around, got cleared in 5 months this time. And because I knew what the process was looking like already, and really, I mean, just relied on my faith and my family to get me through it. Especially the dark times earlier on, right after surgery.
So ACLs, and for that matter, Achilles injuries aren't the death knell to careers they used to be. It used to be, in your era, you blew an ACL and just call it a day.
Not that, it wasn't that far, but okay, go ahead.
Fair enough. But not only are you coming back in 6 months and 5 months, even now, your feet are quicker than they have any right to be. Because you're a big dude. You're a stocky, thick tailback. Like, your feet are quicker than they have any right to be. So how many like ladder reps are you doing? Like, it's insane.
So I mean, over the last 2 years, I was able to really, you know, work on my body, work on my physique, work on my footwork. It pretty much took 2 years off of actually playing football to learn the game more, to, you know, better myself. And if anybody looks at my tape from before my ACLs to after my ACLs, I'm a completely different player. I'm faster, bigger, stronger than I've ever been in my entire life. And really, you know, it's a testament to just, you know, the support I got from family members, And really, just give the credit to the man upstairs to give me the strength to get through it. So, those things together, I mean, I'm very blessed to be here.
I'll say this. I think that, watching a lot of your film, very shifty in the hole, right?
Mhm.
Explosive to the hole.
Mhm.
Got really good. You run with really good vision, great ball security. I think that's kind of an underappreciated stat for a lot of guys until they're fumbling, right? And then all of a sudden, then it becomes a major issue.
Exactly.
So the fact that you have that. But the one thing I think is the biggest thing for me is, and you're going to always have to continue this, is your long speed, right? I mean, that's something you're going to have to continue to work with, just coming off the ACLs and stuff. It's just time heals that,
for
right?
Sure.
But I love the fact that where I think you're going to make your mark in the NFL early is your willingness to play special teams, right? You showed that all throughout your career. I mean, that's how you got that's really kind of, especially for a highly recruited high school player, right? To be able to you were the dog man, right? I mean, you were the guy. And then to get there, to get into college, and that's where you made your name, was on special teams. And I think that attitude is going to have to play big time for you in the NFL. And I think that you're willing to do that's how it's going to allow you to stick on a roster.
For sure. I mean, special teams is a huge emphasis. It was for our program early on and continued it into my later years of college. Really took it upon myself because I wasn't playing as much at running back. I don't know if you guys know, but I sat behind 4 NFL running backs at my time in Maryland. So I had to really wait my turn and didn't get my first start until I was a 5th-year senior. So I really, took on my role as a special teams guy, especially my first 2 years, and really tried to, make the most out of every opportunity I got. And that was especially on the coverage units. I thought I really excelled there and really learned a lot through my first 2 years just playing the special teams.
And we've said this a couple of different times, and I don't begrudge a guy for doing what's best for his career, but there is something that I love about a guy who sits behind a bunch of NFL running backs. And did you ever think about the transfer portal? Did you ever think about getting in there?
100%. I thought about it. But again, this is like playing into everything happens for a reason and me digging into my faith a little bit. After my second ACL, we happened to have 2 running backs declare for the draft that year. So initially, after I tore my ACL, I was really thinking about transferring because I didn't know what was going to happen with those 2 backs that ultimately left. But they left, which gave me an opportunity that I never had when I was in college to come in and really work my butt off and be a featured back for my 5th year. And that's what happened. And then ultimately this year got cut a little bit short because of COVID, but I tried to make the most of every opportunity that I had.
Now, at the Brawl Network, we're a little unfiltered. We touch on some touchy subjects every once in a while. And so I don't mean to offend here, but have you gotten any push or encouragement away from the running back position? Because the white running back is not exactly a stereotype. So have you gotten people that say go try to do this, go try to do that?
Trust me. I don't talk about that very much, but that it's alive and well. Initially my first couple years in college, I got pushed to play safety for a week and was like, no, he's not a good fit at safety. Put him back at running back. Running back's always been natural for me ever since I was a little kid. I was recruited out of high school to play mostly linebacker and safety. Didn't really get recruited to play running back. And a lot of that, I was told, and one of the reasons why I went to the University of Maryland was because, Coach Loxley kept it real with me. Just like we're keeping it real right now, he kept it real, talked about the white running back stigma, talked about this and that. And, that was, really, gave me that bond with my coach prior to me even getting to Maryland. So then when he got rehired by Maryland, it was like everything just, came back together again. So I mean, it's definitely been a process to get people to buy into me as a running back.
So thank Christian McCaffrey, really.
Honestly, he kind of paved the way. Him and Rex Burkhead now are 2 guys that I look at as people who've paved the way for guys like me.
And Danny Woodhead too is the other guy.
Danny Woodhead, that's another one.
You're not any of those guys, and that's what I think. If the stigma is breaking, I think what would it mean to you to sort of be you're not like Allstott either. You're not like you're not a fullback. And I think when I first looked at you, I even read other people saying hey, I think he may play fullback. Well, what about his game says fullback to you? So
I weigh 205 pounds.
Right, exactly. what would it mean to you to sort of be in that line of guys breaking that stigma?
I mean, it would be huge. I mean, it's just, it's just really, I never really prided myself on being a white running back.
Right.
It's just not like, you know,
Not much you can change about
there's
that.
not much I can
Right.
change. But I mean, just being a guy that, you know, was able to beat obstacles, whatever, you know, was in front of him. And that happened to be something that I've had to overcome in my time playing the sport. Just like other guys in other positions have to, you know, overcome things as well. And, you know, it's just, I take pride in it, but it doesn't define who I am.
That's awesome. So what do you, it's Thursday, big day for you on Thursday,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
One of the things for this is I think that's part of it, right? Is automatic. Okay, what kind of athlete is he, right? I mean, so you're going to go out here against some other really studs. I mean, there's some pretty good running backs that are going to be out here. What are you hoping to show these scouts to separate yourself from everybody else?
I'm hoping to show them that I can break that stigma, just like you guys said, that I'm athletic, that I'm fast, I'm quick, that I'm a good route runner, that I can catch the ball well out of the backfield, and really be able to, you know, just compete with other guys around the country and, you know, show my versatility in all aspects.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm excited for you, man. It's going to be good.
I appreciate that.
That's pretty good. Our guy, we have our John Vogel writes for the Brawl Network, and he has you ranked as our 25th best player here out of 50. That's pretty good. Out of the, I mean, heck, there's 100 some guys here
For sure.
So I mean, the fact that, you know, that's a big deal for us and for John to be able to put you on there, and I think it's for you as I watch your film and I see this. I think you still have a ceiling. Like I still think you have ways to go where you can grow, because I think you're really 2 years behind from the ACL, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really, you're 4 games.
Yeah, four games
of being the Jake Funk you can be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's where Wednesday or Thursday is going to be big for you, because I think these guys are going to wonder, all right, who is he? What kind of player is he? What kind of athlete is he? And this is the first chance for these guys to be able to see you, you know, put their hands on you and kind of watch. So I think Thursday's going to be fun for you.
For sure. I mean, I'm excited. I have nothing to hide.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. You know, I embrace the injuries. I embrace all of that. So I'm just ready to get out there and compete.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you're really hoping to show?
That I'm healthy.
Okay.
That my knee is perfectly fine. That, you know, there's no differences between when I cut on my right knee versus when I cut on my left knee. My confidence in my knee, and really just, you know, again, just showing that I'm healthy, that I'm confident, and that I can play.
Yep.
So
God's got you, man. You're going to be good.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys
so
much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it,
man. God bless, man.
God bless.
Yeah,
So the thing I love about Jake, and I noticed this, he got better through 2 ACL injuries.
Yeah.
He actually got better. He's a different running back, and it's almost like you flip the script when you have that kind of character, when you have that kind of motivation. You flip the script and make what could be a terrible negative thing. That could have been the end of his career, that second ACL injury, and he actually got better.
Well, you know, that's the thing, and that's why I'm glad he touched on it. But I mean, the same ACL, man, when you're 18, 19, or 20 years old, right? And football means everything to you. This is a Gatorade Player of the Year in Maryland as a safety. He touched on that too. I mean, you're the dog, man. You're the guy, right? And then you go to your school, you go to Maryland, you're kind of the guy on campus. Everybody's excited to have you, and yet you want to be a running back, and then you got 4 guys ahead of you in the NFL, and then you tear your ACLs, and there's dark days. And for him to be so positive, him to be so excited about it, and then to have an opportunity to represent himself and his family here, you know, to play running back in the NFL, I think it's a big deal. And I think it's, for me, when you watch him on film, his shiftiness in the hole, the way he has balance, runs under his pads really well. You know, he's not a long speed guy, right? He's more of a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type guy.
To be fair, he wasn't a long speed guy even before the ACLs.
Right, and so I think that's going to be where you have to get in the right system, the right team, right coach who's going to want to do it. Good third down back, use him out of the backfield, you know, some sweeps and some tosses, do some, you know, some jet sweep setup screens and things like that. I mean, I hate using it, but I mean, he fits to me the way he talks, and he's a New England Patriot type of in that window, right? I mean, those guys, that coaching tree that's kind of come out of there because they understand how to use. They don't coach. They let the players. They don't stick players in just a box and say you got to fit our system. We build our system around the players we have. So I think, you know, it's going to be tough for him. Just with getting drafted is always tough when you have ACL injuries. Just that's the way the history of the NFL works. I mean, in front offices, we always you had red flags on guys, right? And you got to grade them. How his medical. If he doesn't get drafted, it's not because of talent. It's because of a medical grade.
100%.
And so that's just going to be for him. But then again, it's if he gets into camp and shows out and shows the competitiveness and shows that positive attitude that he's got, then the sky's the limit. We'll see
we've seen just a bevy of fourth and fifth running backs on rosters, a lot like Jake Funk in recent years.
Question.
Guys who
No
they can
question
turn
about it.
3 yards blocking into a 5-yard run every time, and that's a successful way of running an NFL offense. Getting those guys who can put that little extra. They're not going to get you 25, 50 yards at a clip, but they're going to get you, into manageable third down situations.
Well, the one thing that you're going to have is that when you're looking for those guys, right? If you got a guy in the practice squad or whatever else, when you're looking for that guy, then you have that guy is, he's going to show up at the facility. He's going to put in the time. It means something to him. This is all he's got. Right? I mean, he can go be successful. He can go be a model. He can go do whatever he wants. But that he's willing to put in that work. Hey, man, this dude came back from 2 ACLs.
Right.
Okay. It means something to him. Those are guys you want in your locker room because there's guys that don't, right? I mean, there's guys that they're just there for a paycheck.
Right.
Okay. He's not there for he wants to win and be successful. So I wish guys like that luck, and I hope he has a great career.
Absolutely. We are going to take a short break here on the Brawl Network. For Mark Lillibridge, this is Mike Shoddy. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. This is the College Gridiron Showcase, brought to you by the Brawl Network, powered by DraftKings and Manscaped. Mike Shoddy here with Mark Lillibridge, and we've got a special guest, Chase Barrett.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, man,
that's
I got it first time. Chase Barrett, a center from West Virginia. Chase, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, man.
It's great to be here. We get a center though, can we?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
You started at 4 or 5, right?
4 or 5, yep.
Which one didn't you start at?
Left tackle.
Why?
I don't know. It was supposed to be in the cards, and then we had some COVID stuff happen, had some injuries happen, and just ended up having to move back to center that week. I'm not lying to you. For three of those days, I was literally practicing left tackle. I was getting used to it, getting in the stance, kicking.
I'm gonna knock out the rank for my college career.
Yeah, I was very excited about it.
Tell all the scouts, hey, I've started all 5 positions, man.
Yeah.
COVID, man.
One of the worst parts about that was that, the entire week I practiced at left tackle, and then on the Friday, like literally the day that we're doing our walkthroughs, after the walkthrough, they literally walk up to me and they're like, hey man, we're going to have to play you at center. Like, so one of our guys just tested positive. We need to go with someone else out there. We need you in the interior. And literally the entire week, including the walkthroughs, I practiced left tackle that had to go center, like literally last minute.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. It's great. It kind of sucks for you because it'd be cool to be able to say you started at all 5 positions. But how about the dude that had to play left tackle that hadn't practiced at all?
Yeah, no, exactly.
How did he hold up? Is that one of those where you're snapping and then kicking all the way out to the side here to help him?
That's a good one, man. It was just a good situation with all of it. It's cool to be out there, but one thing that I can say is that I actually had a touchdown at all of them, or was in for a touchdown at all of them. So it's cool. Yeah. I remember like the Oklahoma game, they just threw me in there. It was like my, I think, junior year. They just threw me in at left tackle on a goal line thing. I was like, all right, that's pretty sweet. So I got all of them.
Yeah, you could say it. That counts, man. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So let's talk. There are definitely some physical things about playing different positions on the offensive line, but the mental game. I've heard everything from it's like trying to. This is the Brawl Network. We're a little unfiltered. Yeah. Like just trying to wipe your butt with the other hand. Yeah. Like it's not natural. There are some mental things about now center. I'm
physical too. It's not. It's right. It's not just mental. It's physical.
So I'm not throwing shade when I say center because center is maybe one of the most just heady positions on the football field. But to do that and to also know how to kick slide left tackle or how to kick slide the other way on right tackle, how to deal with a nose tackle versus dealing with, a speedy defensive end who probably, is could go play receiver other places because they're just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So what goes through your head as you're shifting around? And because of this pre-draft process, you're going to be asked to shift around quite a bit even within our practice.
It was just something like even in high school, like it was just a thing that was always instilled in me that it was, you just need to learn every position. And that's the quickest way to get on the field. And it proved that way for me. I always knew going into college, I was most likely going to be a center, but I never even played center until going to college. I started my sophomore year in high school at left guard, switched to right guard halfway through, and then played left tackle the rest of my high school career. So, I was already kind of used to that, but I never lost it. But when I got to West Virginia, we actually needed help on the D line, so I played nose guard for my entire first year there. So kind of had to relearn the steps. So it's kind of like I was learning guard, but at the same time remembering what to do at tackle and doing all that. And it helped me a lot. But even in pregame warmups, I do at least 4 kick slides at each position in each position stance because you never know. You never know when you need to be the utility guy because I could play half the game at center and then finish it at tackle because you never know.
And one of those things, Chase, this is where I talk about this all the time, right? Because it's a guy that helped build rosters and help put this together for a long time. That versatility, position versatility in the NFL is huge, right? And there's no other place except offensive line where it is as important, because there are times where you might dress 6 linemen, you might dress 7 linemen, and you got to be able to So Edgerrin Jenkins, okay, from the Packers right now. One of my favorite players. I voted for him for All Pro. I think he was. I think he's the best guard in football right now. He has. I think he's played every position this year. I think at one point he's played every offensive line position for the Packers. They might win a Super Bowl. That allows you as a coach to be able to keep an extra linebacker up, to be able to keep an extra safety up, maybe get another special teams guy, whatever that is. You got some injuries with COVID and everything else, okay, an extra quarterback active because you have a guy like that. So I think that's what's going to add your value here and for teams, and that's something that you need to continue to promote yourself as, because you're right, that is a huge thing that if I know in a pinch, if my left guard goes down, well, now I can just move you from right guard to left guard, because there might be a guy that's on a roster that's all he can do is play left guard. He can't do anything, or he's a left guard center. So now those are his 2. You're the left guard, right tackle, right? And so I think that's a big time thing for teams, and I think that's something that you should continue. No, not I know you're going to continue to work at it, but that does add a major value, and that's something that Thursday, make sure when you're out here, and I'm just more or less coaching you up on this. Show them you can get out of both stances, left-handed stance, right-handed stance. Show them that you can kick slide from your left, kick slide to your right, kick slide to power slide to kick slide. All the things you need to do from both sides of it, you need to be able to show them you can do that. So I think that's going to be big for you.
We'll make sure. We'll talk to Jose. We'll make sure.
But the other part about this is these guys. This is your life now, right? I mean, you can have agents, you can have coaches, you can have all these other guys. But when it's all said and done, you're out there. They're not doing the drills for you. They're not doing it. You need to be able to showcase. Even if people don't ask you to do it, hey, I can do it. Like, I'm going to show you. Can I jump in and do this for you? I'm going to show you I can do this, right? It's like long snap, and I always tell guys, if you can long snap, show them you can long snap, man. Whatever you can do to get on somebody can that you stand out above somebody else. If there's a tie, right? If there's a tie between you and somebody else on a draft board, that one extra thing might be the reason you're drafted and they're not, right? And so the more you can do, the more they're going to ask you to do, and the more than that, but then that gives you that opportunity. So I'm excited for you. And I mean, I've followed you for a long time. I mean, he's a St. Louis guy, so I've seen Chase for a long time. I watched his career ascend at West Virginia. So it's exciting to have you here, and I think you're gonna be great, man. So what's one thing you got to work on? What do you need to work on in your game that you want to improve so that you can play on Sundays?
I would say my biggest thing that I'm trying to focus on is like just run blocking in general. I feel like my pass block is like one of my best parts.
Opportunities at West Virginia.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I feel like getting up to second level and all that, like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with double teams, but there's just certain parts of my running game that I could really work on that I think will make me get to that next level.
And such a tactician, just in terms of versatility, is there some of that where it's like, but I haven't really drilled down on run blocking as a left guard or run blocking as a center that maybe you would if you did focus specifically on one position for it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of have to just like take those as they come. Like, I mean, with my wrestling background, it's one of those things like that. My run blocking may not be my greatest asset, but it's my favorite. Like, I mean, I love that nasty. It's going downfield, getting in the dog pile.
And that's what I was going to say. It has to be a tactical thing because you're definitely not lacking in aggression.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not lacking in like the physical ability to do it because you're a big guy.
Yeah.
So that's where I was going to kind of go with it too was, okay, if that's the thing you're working on, how do you prove that in a non-contact situation when we're not going to have contact between now and your NFL
grunt
training camp?
A lot and everything.
Grunt
a lot. Just grunt.
Just get a tire. They carry it with you everywhere. And just watch me flip this tire.
just grab a guy out of the crowd and start slamming down on the ground and just stomp on his head and say, I'm aggressive. I think you're all right. But I think there is part of that, Shotty, and I think this is, let's be real, this isn't meant for the O-line, D-line. I mean, this isn't. It's not. But it is to a point where if you can drop your hips, right? If you can bend, if you can show that you have flexion, right? Hip flexion, ankle flexion, knee flexion. If you can be able to do the things that they want to see you do, and you can show that you're an athlete, I can make you stronger, right? I can help you. I can get you stronger. I can teach you techniques. I can help you learn to climb the second level. I can help you with lateral quickness and things like that. But I can't. You're not going to get a lot more flexible, right? I mean, you can some yoga and some other stuff, but you're the athlete. You're the athlete who you are at 300 some pounds, right? If you can show that you can move in space, I can help you with the rest, right? A good offensive line coach can help you with the rest. A good strength coach can help you with the rest. So I think that's going to be I think this will be a big thing for you to even to shadow and show some stuff when they do some of these drills out there. It's going to be big for you, and that'll be good. So I'm excited for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll say, so give me 1 or 2 guys that you watch at that next level. And I'm interested to hear what positions they are. Like guys you like to pattern your game after. I'm not, maybe not a complete NFL comp, but just guys you emulate.
I mean, they're going to be guys that you probably haven't heard their names in a while, but Anthony Munoz, that's a big one. Yeah. And then I have Jonathan Ogden, Orlando Pace. Like those guys, in my opinion, are some of like just the nastiest offensive linemen of all time.
Like they were just that you pull up.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll go back and watch old games of them, and I think that they're just guys that literally just enforce like their will on everyone. And I mean, even if they even if they have a great block, like you knew that they were going to the second level with anger, like they were going to hit someone. Like I mean, if it wasn't a great block, it was still like very forceful and things like that.
I'm not going to push you. I'm going to throw you down.
Now,
yeah,
I love
exactly.
that. I do love that. But now I want to comp. Those guys are 6'6", 330 pounds. Okay, you are not.
I am not.
Okay,
you're right.
So now I want a comp of someone that you watch right now that you say, I can model my game after that guy.
I think I may weigh a little bit more than him, but Jason Kelsey is one of the guys that I watch a lot of his tape.
That's a very fair comp. That's a very fair comp, and I think that's a great guy to follow, man. That guy's a beast, and he does it the right way. He might be the best. He might be the best second level blocker from center, be able to climb and get the linebackers and stuff like that. He might be one of the best that's ever been. I mean, he's that good.
The beard is close.
The beard, it's getting there. Yeah. I said during this whole workout process, I'm not allowed to shave. I want to come out looking like I just came out of the woodwork. So you never know.
Yeah, you look like literally came out from your cousin's Appalachian.
Exactly. Like a West Virginia player now.
Absolutely. You're now married, and both you and your cousin are raising goats together.
That's
absolutely. That's perfect.
And that's what I want out of a lineman. That is what I want out of a lineman.
It fits the West Virginia mantra, and we love it. I love it. Yes.
I appreciate it.
I think that's all we got for you, Chase.
All right.
Chase,
all right.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
That is a handshake.
Yeah,
that is a
good
handshake.
luck, brother. We'll be rooting for you.
So if we're talking NFL comps, I love Kelsey, but I'm going to give you mentioned a Packer earlier. Corey Linsley is another player that just as I'm listening to him talk, the positional flexibility, the willingness to do whatever it takes, the excellent pass blocking, but the willingness of the run block. It's just the more I watched him, the more I listened to him, it was Corey Linsley.
Well, and the other part about it is that when you see his stature and things like that, he's got skinny calves and he's got really loose ankles and he can really move in space.
So you're making fun of me about talking about thighs. You're looking at this dude's ankles.
Yeah, but in an offensive lineman, I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to teach you scouting and acumen stuff. You want to be able to have a guy that's an offensive lineman that can bend at the ankles, that can have it was a big thing on Twitter this week, a hip flexion that they were talking about in the game. Chris Collinsworth talked about it, and that's a scouting thing that had been around forever, right? That a guy can bend and a guy can move his hip, but bend his ankles and whatever else, and he can do that. So those are things that you still's got room to improve on strength. You can still add weight, but at the same point, if you can move and still then be able to do that and be able to bend and have flexion,
absolutely,
you can play for a while. And the fact that you can play, I don't care, man. I'm telling you, this is the hardest thing to do in football is for a guy, and they always say, oh, yeah, he's a right tackle in college. He's a right tackle. Oh, well, we'll just kick him over to left tackle. Or he's been a left tackle his whole life. We'll just kick him over to right tackle. It is not that easy. It is literally like learning another language. And so the guys that can do that, for Chase to be able to do that, to go from left guard to right guard to center, and then be able to understand, because your blocking scheme when you're a center and you got to call the strength, and if you're calling that, I don't know if they do it at West Virginia or not, but if he's calling the strength or he's calling who he's blocking, right? Okay, so then he's pointing to the middle linebacker, he's pointing to the weak. All right, we got 52 over here. How his steps are from left guard from right guard to center, it's completely different. I mean, it's completely different. It is literally a different language. So to be able to do that at 5 positions,
all of that
is a huge, huge coup. Because the other part about it is, if you're tired, you're an O lineman, right? So you hate running long distance. All you want to do is eat. You don't want to do a lot of other stuff. But then you're in the middle of a game, and all of a sudden they go, okay, well, you're a right guard. You're preparing all week like he was at left tackle, preparing all week. In the middle of the game while you're in the action, it's hot, you're tired, you can't think, your brain's not working correctly. All of a sudden they say, okay, well, jump over and do this. Like that.
Right.
You have to be able to make that switch that fast. There is something special about that. And the guys that can do it, that's why they last a long time.
Yep, absolutely. At the College Gridiron Showcase, this is Mike Shoddy and Mark Lillibridge signing off. We'll be back in a few. Mike Shoddy, Mark Lillibridge back here at the College Gridiron Showcase in Fort Worth, Texas. Checking out some of the best college football players heading their way to the NFL. Coming on the show right now, Brett Kittrell, a center out of Ohio.
Yeah, man.
Come on board, Brett.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I tell you what, these offensive lineman handshakes are a completely different world from some of the defensive backs and wide receivers we were getting earlier in the show.
As a father of an offensive lineman, okay, I love them. Like, absolutely love them. And so this is where Brett and I are. We have some history. He doesn't know that we have a history, but we have a history. So Jimmy Burrow, okay, was of course Joey Burrow's the Heisman Trophy winner. His was the D coordinator at Ohio. Was my defensive coordinator at Iowa State. Okay, so we have some. I knew Joey as even a little kid. Right, but Coach Rudolph, I know Coach Rudolph really well. Your offensive line coach, probably one of the better offensive line coaches in the country. Not a lot of people know that, but if you know football, offensive line play, you know you got coached by one of the best ones out there. You know, Coach Solich, of course, his record and who he is speaks for himself. How was it going there? Okay, growing up not only in Ohio, but then that's. I mean, he was a legend in Nebraska, but he's a legend in Ohio University. How is that to play for him and be able to be a leader with him and follow kind of in the culture he built there to be a major part of that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, playing for Coach Solich it's an amazing thing because the funny little story is my dad actually played for him back at Nebraska in the 80s.
Really?
He was a fullback back in the 80s, and Coach Solich obviously coached a lot of great backs and a lot of great teams in Nebraska. But he actually coached my dad, and so they have that connection. And then for me to go out there and to play for him and to be a team captain and to do some of those things, it was awesome because we have that connection. I'm a Nebraska boy. I grew up there. Obviously, I know who Coach Solich is, but that was awesome. It was truly like a dream come true.
Do you ever wonder what happened to you and why you can't be a running back? Do you ever talk to your dad?
Yeah, I've got 4 brothers who are probably more athletic, I would say. Actually, this is funny too. I've got a brother who's out there as a safety at Ohio University and playing for Solich too, but my younger brother. So we've got 3 Kittrells who have played for him. We got another brother who played at Nebraska as a fullback, another brother who played at Tulsa as a wide receiver. Right. So I'm kind of the O-lineman of the group. Definitely the biggest and the strongest, but not near the most athletic in my family.
Yeah, so. let's not sell yourself short there, Judge, right? I mean,
maybe pound for pound.
Right?
Yeah.
We get to show what kind of athlete you are Thursday, right? I mean, you can send the videos back. We'll take some good video of you.
Absolutely.
So that you can rub it in to all your brothers and saying, hey, listen, you guys are little skinny dudes. I got you. I'm going to show you what a real athlete looks like.
You won all the wrestling matches as a kid,
though, right?
Absolutely.
I was the heavyweight in our family, and I would pin them all for sure. And they would all dispute it right now, for sure.
Well, and they're not getting in your way for the lunch line, right?
Right.
You're stealing their lunch money and you're stealing their lunches, right?
Absolutely. My youngest brother, actually, I have 4 brothers. My youngest will probably be bigger than me, but for right now, I'm the biggest in the family, so I'm kind of enjoying that.
So you're known as a pretty smart fella, and the quote unquote tape speaks for itself in terms of the things you've done. You know, you're major in data analytics, your 3.8 GPA, but I'm hearing also this football family that you come from, and you're a smart player on the field. Let's talk nature versus nurture. Like, how much of this is just like you grew up in it and had it ingrained from such an age, or do you really work at it? Like, are you a film junkie too, or is it just like, this is what I do?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in the game obviously helps. I would say my dad was the head football coach at our high school, so right from the get-go, I was introduced to football, and I kind of understood a lot of it, and I was able to kind of, begin to understand offense and defense, different things as a very young kid. But then when you get to the college level, it becomes way more advanced. I mean, you have to be a student of what you're doing. So I would say I studied film. I love to know what the opponent is about to do. If I'm on a lineup, I like to know what his best moves are, some of those things. So at the college level, 100%, I had to study a lot. I think that really helped me. I think being a student of film and of the game has helped me in my career for sure.
Do you think that helps you not only just as a human, but at being a center? Do you like that, being able to be the one to make the calls and be the one to you're the coach of the O-line, right? I mean, really, you're an extension of Coach Rudolph. So to be able to be that, hey, did you guys? I'm asking this question, and I should have asked it earlier to Chase, but do you make the blocking calls? Did you make the blocking calls at Ohio?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so that's a big deal, right? So I mean, so you have to study a little bit extra.
Absolutely.
So if there's a bust, it's kind of on you, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's a big load to carry into a game. And that's something that these NFL teams need to know, right? I mean, that's one of the things I would highlight. If I'm with you, when you're talking to these people, make sure you let them know that you were the line, you called all the blocking schemes and all the line schemes, because they're going to want to know that. That's pretty good. Do you think, though, you could play? I know you play a lot of center. Can you play guard? Do you feel good about playing both guards?
Yeah, I played guard as a freshman, played in like 10 games as a freshman at guard, and then sophomore year I moved to center, started at center, and then actually my junior year I bumped back out to guard and started the whole year at guard.
Okay.
So and then this past year at center, so I can play both. I've played both. Feel comfortable at both. Center, I would say, is my strength. I feel like I can really communicate with the guys on the line and make those calls, but I'll play anywhere for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Because that's center's a hard position, man.
It is, yeah.
Again, as a dad of an alignment, I mean, he's done center. He plays both. He plays guard and tackle, whatever else. But being a center it's a different breed, especially having to make line calls. And that's something that's something good. Do you think what's something of your game? I asked this of all the guys we have up here. When these scouts are talking to you on Wednesday tomorrow, they're going to say, what do you need to work on in your game? What's your weakness? What's the one thing that you could point out and say, man, I want to do this better?
Yeah, if I were to think about that, I would say probably just flexibility in the hips. I would say a lot of times head on, full head of steam, I'm really good. Feel really comfortable with that. I would say some lateral movement. Maybe it's pass pro. Obviously, you have to move side to side as an O-lineman in pass pro. That would definitely be something I really need to work on. And I think that stems from flexibility. My trainers, we're working on that type of stuff to kind of help that side-to-side movement. So that's definitely something that I can think of right off the bat that would be a weakness that I need to improve.
Yoga, man, right? Get into some yoga.
Yoga, yeah, absolutely.
Some Pilates.
Big man yoga.
Your dad's a Nebraska guy. You're telling me he didn't have you pull in at like age 3, like to go hit those cornerbacks?
Yeah, well, he was a fullback. He was more straight on too.
Yeah,
fair enough. It's genetic. It's genetic.
Okay, so this is no lie. And you can tell your dad this and tell your dad I don't like him already, but no, because it's so Corey Schlesinger, okay, one of the great Detroit line, right? Yeah. Okay, and then Makovic or whatever else.
Yeah.
But Schlesinger, okay, and me went head to head for 4 straight years in a row at Iowa State and Nebraska. Part of my nose is because of him. From my helmet smashing down and being busted is because it's Corey Schlesinger. So I mean, every time, and we look like very similar. Like growing up, everybody would, I'd go hang out in Nebraska, and people would be like, they thought I was his brother, or people would thought he was when he'd come to Ames. People thought we were brothers, but so I owe him. So I don't like those straight ahead blocker guy type of guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's how I was taught. That was kind of ingrained in me.
And that's okay,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's something fun about that, man. Smashing a guy's face, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't want this to be awkward.
No.
But I need to know your Twitter handle at Bretty Crocker.
Yeah.
6'1". Let's talk about that. Are you just like a fiend in the kitchen? Are you like baking 24/7? Did you do some sourdough during COVID?
Did you lose a bet maybe or something?
No. I'm not the chef. I'm actually my wife. I'm married. I got married this past. Been married for a year and a half, but she's the chef. I am not Bretty Crocker in the kitchen.
Okay.
I would say I got that nickname as a kid because of pancaking people, and people would say, "Hey, that's Bretty Crocker."
Nice.
And so I think that handle just kind of stuck, and I thought that's a cool handle as an alignment of pancakes, serving out pancakes, and so it stuck, and I think I'm going to keep it for a while.
Yeah, I just ate pancakes as a lineman.
Yeah, once you get the story behind it, it makes it really cool. I like it now. Yeah.
That is a better story than I was actually going to
Not a chef at all. Yeah.
Man.
So I want to know why you cut the hair, man. We got the picture of you with the mullet too, and I'm kind of disappointed that you don't have it right now.
The mullet, I mean, that thing was sweet. It felt cool. It hung out of my helmet. It was a big commitment, though. That's for sure.
Did you have to get it cut? You got it cut for the wedding pictures, right?
Well, I was married after. Or I had it after our wedding.
Oh, okay.
But my wife, I don't know if she
Yep.
That's what it always comes down to. It don't matter.
I don't know if she loved it.
It begins and ends right with that sentence. My wife. Yeah.
I tried to shave this once, and my wife just came home and was, nope, you're going to grow that back immediately.
Yeah, that's good.
I was fortunate she let me have it for the season. It was awesome for the season.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
She let me have it.
Yeah.
She let me have it, right?
But I said, I'm going to cut. I was ready. It was time.
Yeah.
It was time to start something new. So,
Well, let's talk about that too, because you're probably one of the few married guys here. There aren't a lot of married young players in the NFL because a lot of them that's their dream. And once they get their dream, they might be wifed up, but they're not going to get married until, you know, that dream is fulfilled because they've got a singular focus.
Yep.
Like, so I'll ask this two ways. One, have you got any of that where, you know, hey, you have other things that you love instead of football? Like that's always a weird thing that scouting talk does. Like, you know, you have a divergent focus. You're married, you spend time with your wife. Like how crazy is that for a football player? But also like there's always this sense of maturity around married guys.
Yeah,
and so have you gotten that as well? Like which do you feel has been more prevalent?
Yeah, I would say I don't think I've had the instance of, you know, people asking if I love two different things. Right. Obviously, I love my wife. Right. I love football. I would say the second part, I would say people more often notice the maturity aspect of it, and they, you know, they say, "Wow, you have a wife. You have to take care of your wife. You have to, you know, you have different things. You have to do finances with her." You know, there's some of those steps that I've had to adjust to as a college student. I'm now graduated and she's graduated too, but that's definitely something that I've noticed people have taken, you know, that's just something that's cool. I mean, I don't expect any praise from that. I proposed when I was like 20 years old and we got married when I was in my 20s. So definitely no regrets there. Love my wife. And yeah, I think it's
excellent.
Yeah, it's a great thing, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's exciting, man. Good luck on Thursday. Actually, good luck tomorrow in interviews.
Thank
you.
Good
luck Thursday on the field. We'll have we'll get some video of you out there and have some fun, man. Right?
Awesome.
Show me you're an athlete, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right,
I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks so much, Brett.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Brady Crocker.
Yes. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
God bless, man.